They're out on the field. The pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beatsis is singing "Fight, Balls, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The Volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. The college football playoff rankings came out last night. Really no surprise to me how they unfolded, but I saw a lot of Vol Twitter that was upset. They were irate, some of them confused, and I get the anger. I get people being pissed off with the way those rankings looked, the way they looked last night, and we'll take a look at them here in just a second, kind of break it down, but I think this really sets up the perfect storm for Vol football. And in the video yesterday, I kind of talked a little bit about this, but I'm going to go more in depth of just why this may not be a bad thing for Tennessee football. Before we jump into it, as always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy, it helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we are fans just like you. For the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We are back to business as usual tonight. We're going live 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll talk a little bit about that Georgia game. We'll talk some college football playoff rankings. We'll look ahead to Missouri and the rest of the season. I cannot wait. Man, I have missed the live interaction. You know, it's fun to get on here and make videos, but there is nothing like interacting with you guys live. So looking forward to that tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Hope to see you guys in the chat. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. The college football playoff rankings came out last night. Again, really no surprise to me. And some people, I think where the anger really comes from is some of the talking points that were out there, right? The talking points about Oregon and Tennessee and the comparisons there and the loss to Georgia. There's a difference between getting boat raced and losing by 2 touchdowns. And I don't care how you spin it. Ifs, ands, and buts. Georgia could have done this. Georgia could have done that. Does not matter. Bottom line is 27 minus 13 is 14. That's 2 touchdowns. Bottom line, end of story. I don't care how you want to spin it. Oregon got absolutely embarrassed. They got boat raced. So first and foremost, I get that argument. Now, people also, what they were arguing about, the first college football playoff rankings came out last week. Alabama, with 1 loss, was ranked ahead of TCU. Now here sits Tennessee with 1 loss. They fall below TCU. Alabama, clearly the only loss they had at the time was to Tennessee. Tennessee's only loss to the number 1 team in the country. So is anybody really surprised by that? Some people seem to be. I was not. You know, I was asking the question even before the Georgia game took place. I said, you wait and see. I will bet every dime in my bank account that if Tennessee loses, and assuming Alabama won last week instead of dropping another one, hate to see it. You hate to see the GOAT Nick Saban just continue to fall. But I said if Tennessee loses to Georgia, you wait and see. Alabama, which would have had a head-to-head loss to Tennessee, would have been ranked ahead of Tennessee and TCU both. They would have been in the top 4. There's no doubt in my mind about it. And that's why when I see it come out and I see TCU ahead of Tennessee, does not surprise me at all. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and lay out what all needs to happen. Or Ohio State's going to play Michigan, TCU plays Texas, yada, yada, yada. We've been through that, done that. I think Tennessee is sitting in a perfect place to end up in the college football playoff after this season wraps up. So why would I sit here and spin this? Why would I try to sell this as a perfect storm for Vol football, if you will? Why would I sell it that way? Well, let me ask you something, guys. If you were a part of this football team and you had been successful and you had rode that wave of emotion all year long, College game day being in town for Florida and again for Alabama, breaking the streak, seeing the fans storm the field, lighting up cigars, just an absolute amazing start to the season. And they still have a lot to play for. And I know Josh Heupel's going to be preaching that every single day in practice. But that's the highest of highs. The college football playoff rankings come out. The Vols are ranked number 1. They are at the top of the mountain. Now you look at the remaining schedule. You got Missouri coming up on Saturday. Tennessee favored by almost 3 touchdowns, 20.5 points right now. You got South Carolina coming up after that. You do have to go on the road. It's a night game, but the ESPN FPI has Tennessee favored at 86.3% chance to win. Then you wrap up the season with Vanderbilt, which is basically a home game, 96% chance favorite to win that game. How do you get these kids fired up? How do you get these kids motivated? What drives them? Well, you take those college football playoff rankings, you come up and you slap them on the board and you say, look at the disrespect. Nobody respects you. Nobody. Nobody has ever respected Tennessee. The national media was starting to buy in. They were starting to believe the hype. Tennessee drops to the number one team in the country, and all of a sudden, the respect goes away. Everybody's talking about Oregon. Everybody's talking about TCU. No longer is there respect for Tennessee. As a volunteer, you got to go earn that respect. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it's always going to be. So if I'm Josh Heupel, I take those college football playoff rankings, I put them right in front of this football team's face, and I say, you want a spot? You better go earn it. And one of the greatest things I saw on the VolQuest message boards were said, Tennessee has got to go run it up. Go run it up these last 3 weeks. In the words of Coach Yost from Remember the Titans, Herman, run it up. Leave no doubt. Go out and hang 60 on Missouri. Go out and hang 60 on South Carolina and Vanderbilt. Show the world that Tennessee is a dominant football team. Finish this year 11-1 and leave no freaking doubt that Tennessee belongs in the conversation. Tennessee belongs in the top 4, and they deserve that right to go play for the college football playoffs. Now, what does Josh Heupel's teams do? Very disappointing outing by this Tennessee offense against Georgia. 13 points. 13 points scored. That's the lowest. That is the lowest amount of points that Josh Heupel has scored since being in Knoxville. Lowest amount. Now, what happens if he scores, I don't know, let's say less than 17. Let's go back and look at last year. Played Florida September the 25th. Got beat 38-14. Terrible offensive performance. They followed that up. They played Missouri the next game. 62 points put up by this Josh Heupel offense. You can go find another game where they scored 17 or less against Georgia. November the 13th, they got beat 41-17. Absolutely embarrassed inside of Neyland Stadium. Followed that up hanging 60 on South Alabama. I fully expect this Josh Heupel offense to come out firing on all cylinders against a Missouri defense that a lot of people are saying is a pretty dang good defense. They still give up, they score 23 and a 0.1 points per game. They allow 21.4 points per game. I think Tennessee's going to go out and absolutely beat the brakes off of Missouri on Saturday. And again, in the words of Coach Yost, leave no doubt. Don't let anybody question, oh, well, Tennessee, they've not been the same since Georgia beat them. Oh, Georgia gave everybody the blueprint. Guys, I'm sick of hearing that Georgia gave everybody the blueprint. What's the blueprint? The blueprint's to have a bunch of 5 stars and go play man-to-man and get in the face of these physical wide receivers and stop them. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Let me know where the 5 stars are hiding at Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. I'll wait to see if they can get up in Tennessee's face and play man-to-man coverage and stop what Josh Heupel wants to do. I'll be waiting for that on Saturday. I invite it. Go ahead and try to follow that Georgia blueprint. That's why it drives me nuts to sit and hear people say that Kirby Smart outcoached Josh Heupel. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to go out there and play man-to-man coverage and get up in somebody's face when you've got 5-star talent all over the field. And that's why we talk about Jimmys and Joes versus X's and O's. And what Josh Heupel has done through 2 years has been absolutely incredible. But you got to be able to hit the recruiting trail and continue to add talent, continue to build depth, and then this team is only going to get better and better. But the bottom line is, why is this the perfect storm? It's the perfect storm because you have a chance to have a pissed-off locker room that's going to go out there these last 3 games with something to prove and absolutely dominate Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. Leave, no doubt, run it up, and let's go play for the national championship. Let's go find our way into the college football playoff, because I think when the dust settles, when all the smoke is cleared, I think Tennessee's going to be right there in the mix with a shot to go play for a national championship. Can they compete with Georgia in a rematch? Can Josh Heupel figure out a way to beat that defense that they're going to get in your face and play man-to-man coverage? Can Josh Heupel figure it out? We'll find out. But I believe these last 3 games are going to be a beatdown, and Tennessee's going to go roll. Hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Is this a perfect storm for Tennessee? What do you think about the college football playoff rankings? I get the frustration and the anger, but I think it's going to be just fine for Tennessee. Also, if you have not done so yet, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' Vols. Any and all support greatly appreciated. I thank you guys for being patient with me over the last few days. I know I did keep videos pumping out. I think I missed one day without a video going up, but missed a couple of live streams. We'll make it up to you. We're going to do a tailgate show on Saturday, even though it's a noon kick. We'll do a tailgate show at 11 a.m. We'll be live immediately following the game. Going to be bringing a whole lot of content your way. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the patience. Thank you to all the members of the channel. We appreciate the way you guys support us. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.